Well, it's good to see everybody. It was interesting. I'm a police chief. I'm certainly not a pastor. And so it's cool to kind of walk into a situation where you're in an environment where you're not used to. As I walked in, one of the cool things I saw right off the bat was that pastors and parishioners are not that different. You all showed up late for service, right? And so I was like, hey, I'm kind of home. Like, I know how that works, right? But it is tough. I'll tell you, it's tough for a guy who's a cop to come and speak to professional presenters, right? Like, you speak every week, you take notes, you do all this stuff, and it's tough for a guy like me. So when I talk to my pastor about it, I say, how do you speak to these professionals? And he said, Tom, they're no different than you. They're just pastors, right? And so just treat them like you would be treated by me. I said, fine, Pastor, I'm preaching up against lunch. I'll preach right through lunch. I got no problem with that, right? I'll get done when I'm hungry, okay? And I'll take up an offering at the end, and you're going to like it, okay? And so that's my plan, right? I plan to fully do that. But seriously, it's so great to be here with you and to talk about topics like this. They're tough topics, and for years, we've been told by our parents, garbage in, right. Don't watch so much TV, it's going to rot the brain, right? I've seen a change in our culture. Let me tell you a change. 5 major universities did a brain scan study of media violence as it relates to the brain. See, our parents told us this, but they didn't have a brain scan, right? And here's what they found. Before media violence, the normal teenage brain is active here. That is logic and reasoning. That's great. That's what we want. That's the reasoning that I use when I'm standing in line and I see me a Three Musketeers bar. And I'm like, I need that Three Musketeers bar, but I don't have any money. And if I took it, I might lose my job. So I'm not going to take the Three Musketeers bar, right? Like, that's logic and reasoning. That's the part of our brain that's active. Here's a crazy thing. When we are exposed to 2 hours of media violence, with a teenage brain, there is almost no activity here, and all the activity is here. In fact, if you want to throw up that slide for me, this is the actual brain scan study. It looks a lot better than my picture. The activity moves from reasoning and logic to animal instinct. Why? Because that's what God made us to do. You see, when we're exposed to violence, we want to respond with animal instinct and not reasoning and logic. As a military guy, as a police chief, I love that, right? That's what I need. Like when I have my officers and they're getting ready to go into this house, I don't need them thinking, man, I wonder if this is the right move for my life. Right? No. I need the part of their brain to be active that says, go, fight, move. That's what I need. That is what God intended for us to have when we're in that violent encounter, to not stop, to not hesitate, to not panic, to not try to logic it out, to go and fix it. Here's the problem. To get back up to the reasoning portion of our brain, to get back up to normal activity, it takes 72 hours. You see, friends, I got to tell you something. It is not within human nature to murder people. We were not made to do that. What's happening in these houses every day? It's not a silhouette target. It's reality. It's the most gruesome murders that can happen on a screen for hours and hours and hours a day. So now we have completely desensitized someone to the violent encounter. We have made it normal, and then we have taken their brain activity and removed logic and reason and put in animal instinct. We don't want to believe that that's real because it's easier to not. This is the science of it. This is what's happening. And this is why, pastors, you think, I'm going to step out. I know this kid. He's got reason. He's got logic. It's not there. It's not there. The reasoning and logic is gone, and we are in animal instinct mode. Yeah. The biggest piece is have the conversation. Don't let it be, You're afraid to talk about it. It's a fire alarm. People are dying from it. We can train. We can be that 10 and 10 that survived because we have a plan, we're prepared, and we're empowered. Thank you so much, pastors. It was great to see you. I appreciate your time.